somewhere along the way, someone told you that you had to earn your place here, and you believed them. Maybe it was not said with words. Maybe it was the silence after you tried and failed. Maybe it was the way applause only came when you performed, when you achieved, when you became something useful to someone else. And so you learned, slowly and quietly, that your value was something you had to build, that it was conditional, that it had to be justified. I want to spend the next few minutes gently, carefully, dismantling that lie. You were not born with a balance sheet. You did not arrive in this world carrying a debt that your achievements must slowly repay. You arrived complete, unfinished in the most beautiful sense, yes, full of possibility, full of becoming, but never incomplete in worth, never lacking in value. The breathing was enough. The heartbeat was the whole argument. Think about the people you have loved most in your life, the ones whose existence alone made the room feel different. Did you love them because of what they produced? Did you calculate their worth by their output, their productivity, their titles, their trophies? Of course not. You loved them because they were there, because their presence was the gift, because something in you recognized something in them, and that recognition was enough. Now I want you to sit with an uncomfortable question. Why have you never extended that same understanding to yourself? We live inside a world that is deeply committed to the idea of earned worth. Every system around us rewards performance. The structure of modern life is built on the premise that value is something you accumulate over time through effort and output. And when you live long enough inside that structure, you begin to believe it is truth rather than design. You begin to confuse the rules of the economy with the nature of the soul. But here is what is true underneath all of that noise. Your worth was never yours to prove. It was never a case you had to build. You are not on trial. There is no jury waiting for enough evidence before finally deciding you deserve to take up space in your own life. There is something that happens when a person stops trying to earn their existence. Something quiet and enormous shifts. The energy that was spent performing, justifying, shrinking, explaining, that energy comes home, and suddenly there is room to simply be, to breathe without agenda, to exist without apology. This is not laziness. This is not giving up. This is actually the beginning of living as though your life belongs to you, which it always did, even when you forgot. You have probably worked so hard to be seen as worthy that you forgot you were already visible, already real, already here, and being here is the evidence. Not the fancy version of here, not the achieving version, not the version where everything is together and the smile comes easy. Just here, waking up and moving through days that are sometimes luminous and sometimes heavy. That ordinary, imperfect, continuous act of living is what proves your worth, and it proves it without you having to do a single thing extra. There will be people who measure you. There will always be people who have built their understanding of human value on the same conditional framework you were handed. They will look at what you have done and decide what you deserve. Let them. Their measurements say everything about the tools they were given and nothing, absolutely nothing, about your actual worth. Because your worth is not measured. It is not numbered. It is not ranked or compared or placed on a scale beside someone else. It simply is. The way light simply is. The way morning simply arrives without earning the right to follow the night. I want you to notice something. The moments in your life that have felt most meaningful, most alive, most real. Were they the moments when you were proving something? Or were they the moments when you finally stopped? When you were fully present, fully yourself, not performing, not justifying, just existing in the extraordinary ordinariness of a single moment that asked nothing from you except your attention. Worth lives there, in the pauses, in the presence, in the simple fact that you are a consciousness moving through a world that could have existed without you, and yet somehow you are here anyway. That is not nothing, that is everything. So let me say this plainly, the way it perhaps has never been said to you before. You do not have to prove your worth. Not today, not ever, not to the world, not to the people who left, not to the voice inside you that learned to speak in the language of not enough. You are not a project to be completed before value is assigned. You are not a rough draft waiting to become the final version that deserves to be loved. You are worth something right now. In this moment, before the next achievement, before the apology, before the transformation you think you need to undergo, before you are finally acceptable. You are worth something in the tiredness, in the uncertainty, in the quiet moment when nothing remarkable is happening and you are just a person breathing inside a life that is yours. That life is sacred. Your presence in it is the proof, and you never had to earn that. Not once, not ever. Welcome home to yourself.